Can you please put your hands together for Michael Caines, MBE?
Thank you, thank you. Oh, wow, wow, that's a really warm welcome. Well, lovely to be here, lovely to be here for Flavour Fest. It's fantastic. 10 years celebration. Give him a shout, that's fantastic. That's not very good. 10 years of celebration, come on, wow. Absolutely fantastic. I'm joined by James. He joined us at Gidley Park from Ashburton Cookery School, so we're going to work together to do 3 dishes. One of them is going to be the red mullet dish I did on Saturday Kitchen, so if you watched it then, you can relive it live here, okay? So, madam, don't worry, I'm here, so if you didn't watch it, don't have to worry about pressing play again. Also, I'm going to do a chicken dish and a nice scallop dish. We'll start off with the scallop dish. Halfway through, we've got Spotlight coming on stage as well, so be kind to them. All right, no waving to mother. Okay, so we're going to have fun. So we're going to start off with a lovely scallop dish. Now, just off the south coast, we've got wonderful scallop beds, and here both in Plymouth and in Brixham, we land a lot of scallops. What we've done with the scallops, we've cleaned them. They're nice and firm. You can tell you don't want to buy soaked scallops that are soaked in water. What you want to do is have them preferably dive, but if they're not, they're dredged. You take away the roe. These are just the pure meat. What I'm going to do is cut them up in different sizes. You can cut them to get rounds like this, or you can cut them in half to get like sort of more chunky sizes like that. So we're going to have a little variation of that going on. Now, what we're going to do is just get some, we're going to blanch the tomato. Now, James, if you just show what we've done with the tomato, 10 seconds in boiling water, and we've peeled it, and then James is just going to do a little tomato concasse. Now, we've probably heard that word concasse being used quite a lot. We're going to, and here it is, diced, finished. But what we do is we cut it in, we'll just shoot, don't worry about the blanching, yeah. So we cut them in quarter, take out the seeds, and then we end up with the tomato petals, which then get turned into little, we call them a dice or brunoise, and that's going to be the underneath, sitting on the bed of this lovely scallop dish, which is going to be dressed here. So I've got some nice, very small shoots of basil. I've got some coriander, lemon balm, and purple basil here to dress it. And I've got some vinaigrettes, which I'll talk about in a minute. Now, shellfish doesn't take long to cook, literally seconds. This is in my new up-and-coming forthcoming cookbook as well. We've got a little bit of olive oil. Don't use extra virgin, just use normal olive oil to cook with, because as soon as you heat it, all the flavour's going to go out, okay? So it seems a waste of money to spend on extra virgin olive oil. We're going to use some olive oil to cook the scallops. Now, it's a non-stick pan, and what we want to do is, first of all, pan fry off some tomato concasse, and then we're going to cook our scallops. So, nice hot pan. I'll get these going. So this first dish is quite quick to do. I've got vinaigrettes, which I talked to you about. This is a tapenade. Anyone know what a tapenade is? Yeah? Well, it's ground black olives, a little bit of anchovy and garlic, okay? We blended that together. This one's a tomato sauce. Basically, thick tomato sauce, onions, garlic, a little bit of thyme, chopped and cooked in a little olive oil. Then tinned tomatoes, or fresh tomatoes, chopped up, cooked out very, very slowly with the bouquet garni. That's a little bit of thyme, bay leaf, celery and leek dropped in, nice and thick, blended with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of Xerez or sherry vinegar. And then finally got a little aubergine, caviar here. The aubergine puree, just you bake your aubergines in the oven in half with some olive oil and garlic and seasoning and some aluminium paper for about 45 minutes, about 180, and then you scoop out the flesh, blend it, and then into it we've added some olive oil and some vinaigrette. So we've made these lovely fruity, intense vinaigrettes to go with this lovely dish. So it's colourful, it's very, very summer. We've got this lovely tomato concasse, which James has done. While he's doing that, he's just going to quickly take some fresh basil and chop finely. Now, they say basil should be like a man's heart, bruised but not broken, ladies, okay? So it's got lots of volatile oils, loads of flavours, but what we're going to do is chop it nice and fine and have that flavour going through the concasse. But in salads and in pasta dishes, if you just rip it and chuck it in, it's absolutely sensational. So we're going to cook with a hot pan. Not one I guarantee you do is just to put your finger in there, but I can't see the flames, but children, don't do that at home. Okay, so seasoning, salt, pepper, always when you're cooking. He's doing a nice little, what we call like a chopping action where you rock the knife forward so it doesn't bruise it. Nice sharp knife. So into the pan we go, sizzling hot. Seasoning, so a little bit of pepper, and then a little bit of this basil, which is lovely. Don't have to have it too, well, in actual fact, you know, sometimes at home, my book is forthcoming. It's going to be called Out in October. Michael Caines at home. So ladies, you get a chance to take me home, at least legitimately, anyway. So in the pan, some nice seasoning, salt, pepper. Always cook in the seasoning when you're cooking. Get those flavors of the basil going through as well. This second pan here, just swap around. We're going to get nice and hot for the cooking of the scallops. Do you want to cut that in half for me, Jane? So on the plate here, we're going to create some nice... Now, this is a simple way. If you put things in bottles, it's a nice way of getting things onto the plate in a nice, attractive way. Now, we can do variant sizes. You can do little squiggles. You can do what you want, really. And we've got different colours. We've got a basil oil, which I'll talk to you about. Do you want to take off the tomato concasse for me, James? And that really just gives you this lovely visual delight. Basil oil.
And then I'll hand back.
Now, basil oil is easy to make. If you take olive oil, put it on a tray with a little bit of cloth on. Basil oil is easy to make. Take basil, about 10% basil to olive oil, so 100 millilitres olive oil, 10 grams. In old money, I can't say what that is, I only know in metrics, but basically, olive oil, herb in there, this is basil, up to the boil, 80 degrees, nice and bubbling, not too hot, as I say, and then just put it in a blender and blend it so it's nice and green. And 80 degrees is important. Now, I'm just going to cook different size scallops. Start off with these size. These are going to take a little bit longer. And then we're going to put in the flat ones. What we're going to do is take a spoon. I've got them behind me over here. Just do a few piles along in there. Just small piles. You've seen how we do it at Gidley. Just small, though. So the basil oil itself, when it's heated, it's 80 degrees. What happens is all the volatile oils and flavors go into the oil, and you blend it and then pass it through a muslin cloth, and you get this lovely green oil. Beautiful. Very summery, very fragrant, very simple to do. Scallops don't take long to cook. Shellfish, very, very simply cooked in minutes, not hours. Seafood, really an easy one to cook at home because it doesn't take too long. And it's full of protein, so it's good, low on fat. So if you're cooking it and you want to keep it very low, grill it. You need lemon juice because there's a lot of protein, and that's where you get that sort of stickiness on the palate. That'll come from the protein of the fish. Golden brown, nice. You can add a little bit of butter in here. See, it's pretty much just cooking it one side. Turn them over. Now, at the front, you've got that wonderful caramelization of the scallops, really intensity of flavor. Just a little bit of lemon juice, and then out. So I'm going to need those two pans, and then I'm going to dress them onto the plate like so, different sizes, using a little bit of the concasse to get height. Yes, madam, delicious. And then I've got some Greek yogurt, which I'm going to just put on as well. That's lovely natural acidity, and it's really colourful. Yeah, I could eat that now too, madam. Never too early for a scallop. And then look, there's some lovely visuals. Very simple. You can pick the tops of your basil and get these lovely little herbs. We've got some coriander, a little bit strong, but still quite nice. These are micro herbs, just to put over the top as well. Oops. And then we've got some purple basil, as I said, and lemon balm, which is really, really, really delicious. Natural citrus acidity, and just to put on the plate. And you've got this lovely display of colour, a bit more basil because it's a real delight. And there we go. Simple dish, easy to do. Pan-fried roasted scallops with the vinaigrettes of tomato, a little bit of the tapenade, and the aubergine puree. There we go, that's the first dish. Okay, so. Now, on Saturday Kitchen, I did a dish which was with red mullet. Now, red mullet's normally they're grey and red mullet. They're both the sort of bottom feeders. It's described the nature of how they feed. grey mullets tends to be sort of muddier flavour. It tends to be in the estuaries and not such a delicate flavour as, say, red mullet. Red mullet, instantly recognisable by its skin. Beautiful fish. Both fish are very, very good. Mullet's more expensive than grey. This dish is with a little Thai puree. So the Thai puree I've made, basically for Thai puree, what we've done with that to make this, I'll just heat it up there, James, is cooked it onions with a little bit of spice. We've got lemongrass in there, ginger. The recipes are online for the BBC, so you can see it. And then we cook out a little bit of saffron in there as well, some lime juice, and we make this lovely Thai puree. Now, some of you get to taste it in a minute. At the same time, we're going to make a lovely sauce using tomato ketchup. Now, tomato ketchup, I hear you say. Yes, this is a little trick I learned from a guy called Robuchon. He was a 3 Michelin star chef in Paris. Very clever. It's a very familiar flavour, tomato ketchup, and I know it sounds a bit odd so to say it, but it's an easy one to manipulate and use for other things. Now, I just need some chopped shallots, James. So you just peel and do a fine chopped shallot. This is a shallot. Very different to an onion. This is a banana shallot. It doesn't look like a banana, but it's long. Some bananas are straight, not all of them are bent. But this is a banana shallot. A normal shallot's slightly smaller, but why chefs prefer shallots over onions? It's slightly more intense in flavour, and when you're using it, you can use a little bit less for a little bit more flavour out of it. So I'm going to use some chopped shallots, as well as, normally I use toasted fennel seed, but I don't have any because we forgot them. So, not to be defeated, I thought we're going to use a little bit of ground cumin. But basically, if you toast the fennel seed and then chop it up, that's what I would use. So tomato ketchup, first of all, I'm going to take some butter, unsalted butter, Cornish preferably, or Devon. I'll leave it up to you to decide. Having grown up in Exeter with grandparents and parents that were born in Plymouth, the debate of Cornish afternoon teas against Devonshire afternoon teas went on, I can assure you, for a long, long time in our household. Now, beurre noisette in French means hazelnut. So when you beurre noisette, it's hazelnut butter. Now, in reality, it's burnt butter. But when you burn butter, all of the protein in the milk will burn, and butter burns at a lower temperature than oil. So it's good to cook with, but also, when you make a noisette, it's a lovely flavour. Now, we can have that as a sauce that you almost like a biège. You can make the noisette and add elements to it, or you can use it to cook in and they call that meunière. We flour meunière is when you flour the fish and cook it in butter and it goes nut brown. Millers, they call it, what that actually is, meunière is not to be confused with noisette, because meunière means miller, so it's the style of the miller's wife. So that's what they used to do, flour the fish and then cook it in a lovely noisette. Now, what I'm really trying to get to is that lovely nutty flavour you get from burning the butter can be really, really advantageous when cooking. And I'm going to use that through the base of this dish. The red mullet itself is easy to cook. I'm going to need a hot pan for that, so we know that things take a little bit longer. So whilst that's doing, how are you getting on with the chopped shallot, James?
All right.
Good, going okay, right. Meanwhile, you're burning the sauce. No, he's not, I'm only joking. Leave him alone. Fabulous. So, you can, with the mullet, cut the skin, but it's very, very fine flesh. So what I want to do is just season flesh side only. A bit of ground white pepper. You've got to allow for the air here, because you season here, it ends up over there. Right, a little bit of salt, evenly. See how I'm a little bit of height so it spreads nicely. Nice hot pan. Now, you want the skin to be crispy. You can start that into the pan cold, but it's best to always use a hot pan. Put it away from yourself, ladies. Then just hold it down. You can do that using a spatula. You don't have to try and burn your hands like I do. And then that's it. Okay, so in it goes. Immediately, I'm just going to control the heat a little bit. Okay, just drop that just a tad. My noisette is coming on nicely. So for this, I've got my chopped shallot. Do you want to put that in there? I've got my cumin, which I'm just going to add a little cumin spice. I'm going to add that as well. And I've got my tomato ketchup, but any other tomato brand is fine. You can make it yourself for all I care. So it takes a little bit of time just to get the butter to burn. And then we want that to cook out. There's no herbs in here. We've just got the spice, in this case the cumin, the tomato, and a little bit of lime juice or lemon for citrus as well. Now, James, you're going to do a nice little fennel salad. and some chopped dill. And we're going to do, fennel's great, bulbous fennel's brilliant, raw or cooked. Okay, so what we're going to do is just shave it using a Chinese mandolin. Now, the Chinese mandolin is also called the widow finger maker, okay? Now, I'm telling you, Rick Steins has been, no, let's do it that way. All right, yeah, and don't cut yourself. Nice and fine, and the good way of doing anything like this is once you've done it really fine, is drop it in ice water so it crispens up, okay? Okay, that's enough. Are we cooking for 10 or 10,000? Good, so here we are. Noisette going well. Now, somebody's going to come on stage in a minute. Give her a real cheer, okay? Okay. Right, so pan is hot. Might have to turn things down a little. Noisette's coming on nicely, so you just see that starting to burn, which is lovely. Just, we'll clear down that a little bit to chop the dill. So, and we've also got some lime oil. Like the herb oil, we've made a citrus oil where you take the peel of lime or lemon or orange, you drop it into the olive oil and warm it up to 80 degrees and blend it in a blender and then pass it through a damp muslin cloth and you get a lovely citrus oil. So I've made a lemon oil like I have a basil oil. All right?
Yes, I'm
so here we go.
Backstage at the main stage here at Flavour.
So,
you know, 100,000 people are expecting.
So just beautifully cooked. Want this to be mainly cooking on the skin side, as you notice. All right, so I need a, so make a bit of space. So noisette, there it is. See
Hello,
that?
everyone. We're live on Spotlight, so nice to see you all. Michael,
Lovely to see you.
We were just talking about how great Flavour Fest is for the region.
It is, it's absolutely fantastic. It's a showcase of what's great about the Southwest, and it's in its 10th year, which is a huge achievement considering the economic climate. And look how many people here, it's just absolutely fantastic, Nat.
And exactly what are you doing at the moment?
So, okay, so we've caught us right in the middle of a demonstration. We've got our scallop dish there, and maybe you want to have a little taste of our scallop.
Oh, thank you.
And then here I'm cooking some red mullet. I've got, I'm going to do a little secret sauce using some tomato ketchup. But I've got Southwest produce on display here. Southwest scallops here from Brixham, red mullet here from Plymouth, and then we're doing this lovely little noisette sauce using tomato ketchup and a little bit of shallot. Have a taste.
I will do. I'm going to have a taste. I'm going to hand back to you, Justin. Everyone, say bye to Justin.
So look, in goes the shallots into that burnt noisette and a little bit of cumin, and now we're going to put in our tomato ketchup, okay?
I've ruined it, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Look what I've done.
That's the trouble with cooking. It's so of the moment, isn't it? You make all this wonderful food and they come and eat it.
Oh.
But that is the point.
That is lovely. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone.
Take
See
care.
you later.
Say bye.
Bye. Bye.
Right, so in there now, we're just going to cook that out. So it's a split sauce, okay? What you get with the tomato is a natural sweet sour, which is good. When you want to cook, always remember, you want a balance between sweet and sour. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our fennel, dress that in a little bit of lime oil. We've got a vinaigrette here, a little bit of chopped dill, just take out a little bit. It's fine, put it in a... And then this is ready. This is looking good. So that's great. So that's a tomato, ketchup, shallots, normally a little bit of diced fennel, and then last minute I'm just going to flip over the fish, like so, a little bit of lemon juice on it, and then out of the pan, here we go, and then finally, just going to cook, so a little bit of vinaigrette, actually there's my vinaigrette, do you want to put the dill in there? Yeah, and then season slightly a little bit of soaked pepper. So here when we dress, now we're going to start off with our puree. So this is the onion with the Madras curry powder, a little bit of lemongrass, lime, saffron for a lovely colour. So just put that at the base. Just, you know, a bit free. Then we've got our lovely fennel salad, which is delicious. Put that as a base. You want all those flavours to build up. And we've got some lovely fresh basil oil as well, which we'll put on here. And then we're just going to drop our tomato sauce, which is cheeky and delicious, just like me. And then finally, we're just going to use up some of the more of those lovely shoots. Can you get some shoots for me? basil oil I've got back here, dusting of cumin spice over and around the plate, some lovely basil. And then, you know, you see me brooding up flavors, you know, you can put a little bit of the fennel, sorry, that's lovely. No, the dressed one. Here we go. A little bit on top. And then some, again, some shoots of basil. These are purple basil. You can pick a little julienne or pick them off. And there you go. Pan-fried red mullet, Thai puree, and a little bit of magic with a tomato ketchup beurre noisette sauce. So very simple to do, very quick. There we go. And then finally, our last dish. Right. So this one's one I think you can do at home, okay? Chicken is a lovely ingredient. We've got, for this, fresh garden peas. These I got from our garden at Gidley Park. These aren't cooked, but you can use frozen peas, okay? Not a problem. Little button onions, you can buy these. These are silver skin. These are frozen and defrosted, okay? We normally have them raw ourselves. And then we've got gem lettuce. Now we just need to cut that and peel that down and cut them up. And some wild mushrooms. Now you can find these, if you go out and forage, you've got to know what you're looking for, okay? It can be quite dangerous if you get the wrong one. But this is a Giraud. We've got little shiitakes, baby, bluettes. And these can be found locally. Now, I've got a lady called Janice from Bovey Tracy on the mall, and she will not tell me where she gets her mushrooms from. She just will not tell me. And I can tell her, to be honest, I can't blame her, because we'll all be up there, because they are so, so good. So we can buy, of course, from France, but also if you forage around, you can find them as well. So we've got the breast of chicken, just like this, quite chunky. If you cut it in half, if I show you, if you cut it in half, and then just cut it like that. If this is a good old Devon bird, look, big old breast, so to speak. All right, that sounded wrong, sorry. So this is Piper's Farm Devon bird, and this chicken is organically reared by a guy called Sam Ursula, and he creates these wonderful chickens for Piper's Farm. And Piper's Farm's got a lovely butchery in Exeter, and if you know it, Magnin Street, but he delivers all over the southwest and all over Devon. So we're going to start off with our chicken. We're going to season it. Always good to season and cook flavors in. A little bit of seasoning. Don't go too mad on it at this stage. And I'm going to make sure the oven's on, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on a tray. Put that oven, turn it up. It's because I'm going to do what we call a fricassee. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, first of all, we're going to need some mint to keep him busy. So you just peel down some mint and do a little fricassee for the fricassee. We're going to use mint, lovely herb. Now, if you're using spice, on the pan it gives lovely length. If you're using herbs, it's real fresh flavour. So use fresh herbs at the last minute. Spice and dried herbs you put in at the beginning and let it cook through. I've noticed over time that I've become more confident with using spice. And you've got to know, when to use spice and what to use it for. But at the same time, not all spice is, of course, hot. That's the chili spice. So things like, curry powders, some have different levels of heat. So watch, skin side down in my almost hot pan. Okay, sealing it, what we want is a little bit of colour. Now, I'm going to use butter, because butter colours at a lower temperature. Now, I always use unsalted butter. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of butter to the pan just to help the colour, okay? All right, now when you cook with butter, it's all about flavour. It's not necessarily you're not going to leave that fat behind or get rid of it, all right? Now, this is about, I'm leaving the skin on. If you don't like the skin, you can take the skin off, that's fine. Now, because I'm using the skin, I don't want to serve that, it's chewy and horrible and not easy to eat. So when you're serving skin, crisping it up, it becomes delightful. Loads of intense flavour, and all that fat that renders down, and it's lovely crispy. It's a bit like your pork scratchling. That's what it is. It really is intense, so we want to get that nice and intense. So get it on in the pan, get the colour going. Now the ingredients we want for this, we don't need to use chopped onion because we've got the button onions. Okay, as I say, you've got the silver skin, you can actually peel them yourself and have them raw. These are from the freezer. We've got some lovely fresh peas. are wild mushrooms. You can use bacon lardon, which is pancetta, or lardon, or in English, smoked bacon. Okay, so lardon and pancetta sounds very romantic with smoky bacon. It is what it is, but ultimately streaky bacon cut into thin stripes. It's also quite nice. I've left this out because I thought we don't need it. So look, we're looking to get some nice colour, skin side down. Once the pan gets nice and hot, I'll be looking good. So we've got some chopped mint, we've got some baby gem lettuce. Baby gems are very classic. Use baby gem or cos lettuce. These are very popular in things like Caesar salad, but it's actually not just about salad served raw. You can braise it, you can cook it. I'm going to use it in this lovely fricassee for texture as well. We've got a lovely bowl there. We've got our breast here for my Devon bird, just roasting off. Nice bit of colour. In fact, when you're making a fricassee, the word fricassee is to make the sauce in the same pan that you cook with. Now, I've only got so much time left, and my mate Des is at the back thinking, what's Cainesy going on about? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the chicken out of the pan and put it in the oven and get that cooking separately. It doesn't take long to cook chicken. A breast like that will take about 15 minutes to cook, okay, at a leisurely pace. At my kind of pace, it will be cooked in 10. But look, nice hot pan, and you can smell when you're roasting those flavours. So a nice little tip is I've got some thyme, which we can put in when you're roasting. It's a lovely little tip, actually. Just drop it in, and all that volatile oil is out of the... And leave them whole, because you can pull them out whole. All the flavour goes into oil, goes into the pan. Instantly, you'll get that aroma of the thyme. One thing about cooking, it involves all your senses, okay, including common sense, to be frank. It's not rocket science, is it, James? I keep telling him, it's not rocket science. And judging by the guys we got in the kitchen, we would not get to the moon if it was, I can assure you. Oh, I'm only joking. It's not that bad, is it, James? It's fine, he said. He loves it, he's great. I know, I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of the team at Giddy Park. 20 years next year. I've been at Giddy Park for 19 years. Wearing well, huh? 19 years, 15 years at 2-star, and my cookbook finally arriving this October. Good grief. So look, nice bit of colour. We'll seal it off on the second side. Okay, now if you were doing, this pan could probably take two portions. You've got a thing called the fillet here, which actually is, I'm going to take off just to speed things up a bit, okay? We can cook that separately, okay? I've got some chicken stock. Now, that's a very gelatinous chicken stock. I make that using the chicken winglets, okay? What makes the stock gelatinous is the collagen. Do you like that? I'm getting into it. Chicken winglets. So what makes it gelatinous is the collagen in the meat. So that's the meat protein. So what you want to use, the chicken carcass is fine, but the chicken winglets makes a much firmer stock, more gelatinous stock. So it's a jelly-like stock, which is lovely, full of flavour. If you want to create a brown stock, roast your bones first, and then make the stock using the roasted carcass, and you get a deeper brown sort of flavour, much more roasted, I guess. Of course, that's what you're doing, more caramelising of that. And what that allows you to do is make a nice stock for your gravy, which is already brown, so you don't have to worry about using one of those cubes for colour. You just roast the carcass first, put some onion in there, and then put some water, and you make lovely chicken. So use your chicken winglets. That's good. So look, what I'm going to do is just do a little cheat. So that's going to go in the oven, James. Mind out, it's a bit hot. Do you want to put it in? We'll give that 5 to 8 minutes. In the pan here now, we've got the residual fat. We're just going to take these out. They've done their job. I'm going to use mint next. So now I'm going to take. Oh, there they are. Sorry. In goes my button onions. Want some colour, but also I want some garlic for flavour. Peeled garlic. Sometimes you want to add the garlic flavour, but you want to remove it. So just crush it lightly, lighter than that, and add it, and you can pull it out, okay? All right, so we'll add that. Get them roasting. So we want a little bit of colour and caramelisation. Now with the fricassee, is that from the pan you've got all the roasting juices and flavours. So that's going to help create this lovely sauce. So in goes the onions, a little bit of garlic in there as well. Then we're going to add our mushrooms, okay? Now, if you can't buy wild mushrooms, you can get chestnut mushrooms or something like the shiitake now, and also just ordinary button mushrooms. Not a problem. It's as delicious, okay? Now, at the front, and hopefully at the back, you've got all those lovely smells coming out. I say with cooking, the more you put in, the more you get out. So think about building up layers of flavour, starting off with the base flavour here with the thyme. Now we're adding some onion, a little bit of garlic, and then we'll add the mushrooms, and then we'll add the mint at the end, nice and fresh, and then we'll finish it with a little bit of butter. Okay, so let's get on. So nice bit of colour on the onions. So colour's not just about looking good, it's about intensifying the flavour. If you add colour, you're roasting it, you're caramelising, you're intensifying the flavour. You happy with that, madam? Yeah. They're happy? I shall move on to the next step. In go my mushrooms, okay? Mushrooms are sort of 80% water, and at this stage, I'll add a small amount of salt and pepper, but be careful with this seasoning, because I added it at the beginning, and what you tend to happen with when you cook meat, some of that seasoning sort of stays in the pan, okay? And you can't dilute salt into oil. You've got to do it into a liquid, all right? So nice little bit of action with the mushrooms. Just start them. I say until they go slippery, but whoop-la. Play it cool. That was almost, wasn't it? I don't know who was more worried, you or me. I was all over it, literally. Okay, so just remove. You saw me remove the garlic because it's done its job now. I can leave it in there when I add the stock. Actually, I'll leave one piece in there. Chicken stock, in it goes. Now all the colour from the pan, the caramelisation, will now add a little bit of colour to this. This is part reduction and part Monty au Beurre, okay? Now, it comes with a health warning, this one. But you don't have to use butter, you can use corn flour, okay? And I will get to that in a minute. So up to the boil. Have you done my mint, James? Fabulous, looks brilliant. Now, James has cut that perfectly, as you'd expect. Not too fine, but just fine enough. Well done, sir. He's not sure if that's a compliment. So look, chicken, what we do at work is we wrap it, poach it, and then roast it. But this is something you can do at home. James, do you want to open that for me, chap? So that's almost cooked. So good, I've got some pea shoots to garnish this. Now, as soon as this comes up to the boil, I would add a drop of cream and corn flour if I was doing it at home, but I'm not. I'm going to add some butter, okay? So I'm going to add a little bit of butter. This is a technique called Monty au Beurre, okay? To thicken using butter. Now, just going to whisk that in. This doesn't need to be a thick sauce. You can add a little bit of corn flour and butter at the same time. Corn flour, to add it into something like this, you just add teaspoon of corn flour, a little bit of water, and just add a small amount, whisk it in, and then you can judge the consistency of your sauce, okay? That's already looking good. Now we're going to drop my peas in for colour, and also going to get that cooking. Do you want to accelerate the process? Lid on. A little taste there. Might need a bit of acidity. Sometimes you can put white wine in the base if you want, or a little bit of red wine. God, don't want to be accused of killing a wasp, so I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice for acidity. All right, no problem. So what else is there? Gem lettuce, right at the end. We don't want to add that too early. Have we got any more, or is that everything? That's fine, no, that's enough, good grief. Lovely, perfect in fact. Right, we'll start clearing down, almost finished. The chicken breast now is cooked. Well, if it isn't, it is. No, it is, it's cooked. Now, it didn't take long, and what we can do with that is we can just give it a little bit of a trim to sharpen it up. I wouldn't do this, but, you know, just to make it look a little bit sharper, we will, just for presentation. Oops, you're easy now. Don't panic. Happens all the time. There's a few nervous faces back here then, I'm going to show you. Got a cloth. So finally, this is great. This is how the pros do it. Right, okay, so finally, in goes our lettuce. Beautiful. Very simple dish. This is something you can definitely do at home. Also, the quality of the chicken obviously, the better it is. And it's served in a bowl. You know, it's that sort of thing. So we're just going to, I've got a large spoon, actually. Finally, add in our lettuce. So this would be à la française, really, I guess, in many ways. This stage, you're looking to add some seasoning, salt, pepper, okay? Always look to adjust. You'll be amazed how much elevation of flavour you'll get from simply adding a pinch of salt and pepper. What are we looking for? A spoon. Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, that's it. No, that's fine. There's plenty there. Good grief. How many do you need? Fabulous. Okay, that's fabulous. Look, and then mint. Right at the end, okay? Fabulous. Thank you, Jacques. And so lovely garnish. That would serve comfortably 4 people, okay? Mint's great. Wonderful, wonderful spice. Gives you great length, but something like mint gives you good length too. Real coolness on the palate for this time of year as well. So mint goes in at the last minute. Those peas should be cooked. And what we're going to do is just take our garnish, a little bit of everything. Just drain off the sauce first to make a nice base. Make sure we've got a little bit of everything there. Then using that larger spoon, it's fabulous. Just take a little bit of bespoke garnish and then our sauce, which we can spoon in or pour. And then on top of this, we've got, so a bit of everything really. You see it's almost like a, and because I don't really care that the sauce is not thick, because there's loads, it's like a minestrone soup. There's loads of texture in the ingredients. Finally on goes our breast. And then I've got some pea shoots here, which we'll just use to put on. Now I've got these from the garden. Oh, my dad used to go mad. I used to pick the tops of the peas for pea shoots. He used to go mad. That might go. But look, even then, I was always thinking. And then you can do some mint oil as well, over the top. And look at that, stunning, isn't it? All in one pan. Chicken fricassee, onions, peas, and baby gem lettuce. So there we go. Right, we survived the fire. We've almost tipped my garnish over Madden, and it's been wonderful fun. Enjoy Flavour Fest, and thanks for being such a wonderful host. Thank you.